Greetings and salutations, my name is Ignis and today I played Dishonored 1 for the final time. For those who don't know, Dishonored 1 is a stealthy, stabby, supernatural adventure set in the plague-ridden city of Dunwall, where you play as Corvo Attano, the Empress's former bodyguard turned masked assassin. Framed, betrayed, and gifted powers by a cryptic goth with glowing eyes, you can choose a path of cutting down everyone you see or giving their necks an aggressive massage. Today we return to face the final reckoning. Will I walk away as the silent saviour, or leave behind a legacy soaked in chaos and blood? One last mission to find out. If you enjoy the content, please leave a like. If this isn't the first video of mine you've seen, consider subscribing for more. And with that, I hope you enjoy today's video.
This is the one who was with the Empress when she died. Poisoned. Tivian stuff.
Amateur work. He'll live.
That's up to Dowd.
I know a great deal, bodyguard. I recognize those marks on your hand. A gift from your friend. The one who talks to you in the dark. Talks to you when you visit his shrines. I visited those shrines too. And I know what it felt like to shove a blade into your Empress. But I don't know you. Who you are, and who you fight for. You're a mystery, and I can't allow that.
Ah yes, nothing like being dragged unconscious by a bunch of latex cosplayers with knives. After my impromptu Uber ride down the river, I find myself waking up once again in the void, which is slowly starting to feel more like a timeshare than a supernatural realm. And surprise, surprise, the outsider shows up again.
You are at last, in a ruined and drowning world, held captive by the man who killed your Empress, the assassin Dowd. Your friends poisoned you and dumped your body in the river. Did they do it to protect themselves, so no one would ever know what they'd done? Or was it because they were a single move away from controlling an empire, and they knew you'd never let them manipulate Emily? Maybe none of these. Perhaps that's just the nature of man.
This guy is a cryptic goth LinkedIn notification that just won't stop popping up. I've told you 1,000 times before, I've unsubscribed from that. He tells me the most obvious of information, that I've been poisoned, betrayed, and thrown into a ditch while the loyalists are busy planning a Game of Thrones Dunwall edition. Thanks for the info, my guy. Very reassuring. I wake up from this spiritual Yelp review in what I can only describe as a medieval crockpot surrounded by bricks and rats who I assume was just seconds away from making me their main course. Fortunately, those who had captured me left me my mask, because nothing says hospitality like preserving your hostage's steampunk aesthetic. A few bricks and rat corpses later, I'm finally free. Looting my way out like a good little scavenger, I find some elixirs, a snack, and swords made for stabbing, and another sword made for religious stabbing. Naturally, a couple of Dowd's emo assassins are guarding the exit upstairs. I try to stealthily knock them out, but I'm about as subtle as a foghorn in a library. So now I'm accidentally auditioning for John Wick. I didn't want to fight, but it was my life or yours. I'm not really sorry about it. I escape to Rudshore Waterfront, where I find one path forward. A janky bridge built entirely out of hope and splinters. But just before I can start practicing my Olympic level blinking, I am bombarded by plants who apparently have a vendetta against me with a side hustle of selling acid. Instead of being soaked in acid, I choose to climb a chain to the bridge overhead and stumble upon a crime scene sponsored by the overseers. Luckily for me, their spoils are my reward and my only method of surviving in case of a fight. And also because I'm poor. Inside the nearby building, I grenade splain my way through to some loot and find a letter from High Overseer Campbell. Turns out that Dowd is hanging out in the Chambers of Commerce, which is ironic considering the economic state of this place. Alright, target locked, GPS set. Kind of. Now I have my end location in sight, at least. The only thing now is to figure out how to get there in this dump of a ruined cityscape. I stick to the rooftops because I'm still trying to cling on the last shreds of my assassin dignity. Past some more killer plants and the emotional support weepers, I find a leaking river of whale oil, which aside from being a fire and a health hazard, conveniently shows me the way. So I possess a rat and make my way under to the checkpoint like a true sewer sorcerer, and make my way into the Greaves refinery. Now, here's the plan. Avoid the infected, and avoid the plants from hell. That's it. Upon entering, I am met by a ruined building with a stream of whale oil lighting the road like a neon sign, and a familiar building where I was lifted up before being dragged off to my rat pot. That building has my gear in it. Where? Good question. Jumping across the rooftops again to avoid the weepers below, I come to the stair control panel. At the stair mechanism, I see the power is out. Because of course it is. So I grab a bottle of flammable seafood juice, plug it in, and the stairs lower with the subtlety of a Michael Bay explosion. The loud banging and smashing of the metal is most definitely more than enough to notify anyone in the city that I am here. But before anyone comes to investigate, a swarm of rats scurry out from under the stairs, and then promptly start climbing my stairs to my location. Before I can even give them the chance of nibbling at my toes, I blink onto the main staircase and start climbing. Coming across a broken part of the grating, I collect some coins and a bone charm, which I don't know what does, because I never checked. Moments later, the grating slams shut behind me like a Scooby-Doo trap. Climbing some chains before 3 of Dowd's henchmen have a nice little chat above me.
But we should watch the streets. We'll see him from the rooftops.
All right. If nothing else, we can cut him off at the market.
You can't get through the rail station without the key.
This one is resourceful. You'll find a way.
Wondering if I'd ever come back here, and why at that. To be fair, in their defense, I'm still trying to find my way out of here too, Dowd, and this is just a convenient find for me to grab my extremely murdery luggage. As I make my way inside, more whale oil, more levers, and finally the bridge extends for me. But because this is Dishonored, the chain ride down is brought to you by the walking infection. I didn't want to deal with them, but this mercy killing is for their health and my safety. And not because I messed up. I fight, I loot, and I eventually recover my gear. Opening the main gate takes longer than waiting for Half-Life 3, but I am now finally outside, greeted by the air so stale it could be used as seasoning. 6 angry pods stand in attention off to my left, all ready to fill my corpse with acid. But to escape is nothing more than a simple 1-2 blank. Returning to the earlier area, I spot a suspiciously glowing double door with some corpse-side decor. I blink up only to find that one of the corpses is actually alive. Oh, wait. Nope, my bad. Dead again. This door takes me back to the crime scene earlier, but this time with more gear and fewer regrets. It's time for a little more rooftop hopping. Now, there are far too many guards here for my liking, so instead of taking them head on, I'm going to skip around the side and take them from behind. Like from their flank, knocking them out. Oh, that sounded weird. With a satisfying chokehold and a key to the right door, I enter into a new area, the Central Rudshore. Now that is too many guards, and I do not have enough patience, and I go full flank mode. By which I mean I sneak around to this building off to the left, and by the time they even notice, I've already redecorated their dreams with the taste of concrete. Inside the Chambers of Commerce, I dispose of the guards who apparently skipped every vision test in history. This is genuinely upsetting to see. And just as I am mid-sneak, my cat decides to show up. Why don't be part of the recording, just say so. Yes, I understand. Not really, I don't know what you're saying. It's very distracting while I'm trying to play a video game. Okay, fine, I'll pause the game, give you some scratches. Has it made you happy now?
You small, worried man. You'll never know how many times I've thought about trying to get close to you again. Just to put a piece of sharp metal in your eye. But now there's no need. You've been taken down by the same apparatus that gave you life to begin with. Laws and courtrooms and the mighty swell of public outrage. Good riddance to you, sir. So many schemes you had, and so many contracts. How many people did I kill for you? None like the last. None like her. I'd give back all the coin if I could. No one should have to kill an Empress.
Sneaking my way, and I take out the surrounding guards and confront Dowd.
And now we fight the duel that no two others could fight, against the ticking of the clock. Leave us! I have to do this alone. I've waited for this. Let's see if the outsider will save your life. Or mine. Why are you fighting? For the men who poisoned you and left you to die? Or your dead Empress? Go on. Strike as if you mean it. You know I killed her. Fool! We're of the same breed, you and I. We kill for others.
We've lost it all.
I've never lied.
Ruined at last. Lord Regent.
Hit harder. You're not fighting Lady Boyle now. You've got to strike faster if you want my blood. This is who protected the Empress.
He comes out bold, swinging and guns blazing. But is this it? His swings are slow and it's far too obvious, and I can just parry most of them, even with a cat on my lap handicap.
I have one more surprise for you. I ask for my life. When I killed your Empress and took her daughter, something broke inside me. Now I see the design on the back of your hand, the mark of the outsider himself. And I remember all I've done. The years of waiting for the right moment to step forward from an alley and drive a knife between the ribs of some noble. All the money exchanging hands from one rich bastard or another. Killing for one of them 1 year, then being paid to kill him in return the next. But what have I accomplished? More than you have, or much less. I remember bending at the shrines, listening as the outsider whispered that I was going to change things, that I was somehow important. It felt good. It made me believe I was powerful. Now I want nothing but to leave this city and fade from the memory of those who reside here. I've had enough killing. The men you worked for asked you to kill for them, but you found some other way. You took a path I could have followed, but did not. So my life is in your hands. Make your choice.
Defeating him in this duel, he places his life in my hands, and as much as I would love to wring the blood from your skin, you regret the choices you made, and stated earlier that if you could, you would return all the money for the assassination of the Empress. And for that, I shall show you mercy. But not your wallet or gear. That's mine now. Thanks, man. After collecting my spoils of war, I eventually exit through the sewers, now officially wearing the Dunwall special Eau de Corpse juice fragrance. I stumble upon a landfill with a cart coming by dropping off a new load. Wait, nope. That's not rubbish. That's bodies. Among the rot and rubble, I meet a survivor who reminds me that this is Dunwall. And I remember Emily is still out there. And this mess needs fixing. Preferably before I end up in a corpse cart too. I try not to dwell on the thoughts that came with the plague that now ruined this city. I will make sure that the city is restored, even if it takes my dying breath. I hop onto the next corpse train like it's rush hour, ride it on till the wall of light, unplug its battery like it's an old router, and then slip into the old port district. And guess what's back? The sewers. Walking further through the sewers, I come across one of Slackjaw's buddies.
You're the masked guy's been taking down all the lords and ladies. No way through this gate unless you got the sewer key. Only one place to get that key, and I wouldn't go there. Not for all the gold in Dunwall Tower. Not again. Maybe you could pull it off, though. Something attacked us in the distillery. It used the rats. I know it sounds crazy. And then it run back under the streets. So we come down here to kill it. Slackjaw leading the way. Went bad. I barely crawled out. Don't know what happened to Slackjaw. He had the sewer key, though.
And he tells me that Slackjaw is also in these pipes, hunting someone that uses rats to execute an attack on the distillery. I wonder who that could possibly be, as I can only think of one other person in this entire city that has a close relationship with the rats, or as they called it, their little birdies. The trip down the sewers is rather uneventful. That is until I come across my favorite minigame. Guess the luck code. 1, 2, 3.
A few minutes later.
524, 525, 526, 527, 528. Hey, we have a winner. My prize? A gold bar and a bone charm, which I also, again, do not look at. So it's just the crushing weight of wasted time instead. Now, why was I here again? Right, rescuing Slackjaw. But first I need to take out a few more harmful plant lives and have a leisurely swim through liquid regret. I am beginning to question why Slackjaw would chase someone this far down the sewers. This is just a little too far for my taste. I'd also rather not taste that again. But lo and behold, reaching the end, Granny Rags is at the end of the way, who, spoiler alert, does not want to bake cookies. Rather, she wants to bake people. So I blink on in, try to knock her out, and she goes full Ratnado on me.
Look around. There's a cameo of a young girl. It's her. Destroy it with the furnace. Says in one of her books it's the only way to get rid of her forever.
Thanks for the information, Slackjaw, but where in the 9 hells is a cameo going to be stored? How am I supposed to find this while holding back the legions of rats and Granny? Okay, never mind. It was easier than I thought. After a quick fetch quest for her cameo, I end her for good this time. Free Slackjaw and ponder the weirdness of this entire encounter.
Wanna know something funny? When we were kids, we were all scared of Granny Rags. Thought she was a terrible witch. Then we grew up and figured she was just a sad old lady. We were right the first time. Now ain't that funny?
I owe you. This won't even the score, but it's all I got left.
This is one of the many adventures I've had, and most likely one that I'm going to share with Emily when I see her again. After collecting the key and breaking some boards, the sewer swimming resumes. And now I'm not only soaked in excrement, trauma, but now also loot. But hey, at least we made it out alive at that. A few climbs later, I reach a familiar sight, the Hound Pit's pub, smelling beautifully like betrayal and stale beer. Or is that the sewage? I arrive at the abandoned apartment behind the Hound Pits pub, that is, which used to be a hub for good drinks and occasional war crimes. Now it just looks like an Airbnb the apocalypse forgot to check out of. Inside I find someone. Oh, Cecilia, that was it. See, I remember you. Trying to escape through the sealed inner doors like a raccoon stuck in a pantry. She sees me and immediately trauma dumps the full betrayal recap, like she's been waiting for someone, anyone at that, to listen to her. It turns out, Havelock, Pendleton, and Martin have traded their loyalty for power. Surprise, surprise. But because I've been a peaceful little ghost thus far, she shares that Callisto is alive and chilling in Emily's tower, while Emily's also been kidnapped, because of course she has, and Samuel is completely MIA, or somewhere in the river. Upstairs to the left, I find a small stash of elixirs. To the right, the exit door, featuring 2 shiny keys, one for the abandoned house and the old port sewer. I've had enough sewers for today. I think I'm just going to use the abandoned house key. Stepping outside, I am greeted by 4 guards and a tall boy, patrolling like it's a take your murderbot to work day. One guard heads into the pub, 2 start chatting about God knows what, I wasn't paying attention, and the last one paces like he's lost his to-do list. Naturally, I blink past all of them like a socially anxious teleporting ninja and head into the bunk chambers, eventually making my way inside Havelock's room. I'm hoping I could find him so I could stab him in the neck, but unfortunately, I find nobody. Just some blueprints in the scent of betrayal. Upstairs in my old room, 4 guards have set up a roommate situation without my consent. I stealthily eliminate one, then bait the others into a trap of extremely bad decision making, but it somehow works out. And then as the last guy strolls over to urinate on my old bed spot, which, well, rude, I introduce his face to the floorboards and send him tumbling down the stairs. It is actually only then I notice Emily's last crayon masterpiece, which is a little charming memento of one of the very few people in this world that don't want me dead. She has also left a letter off to the side, stating that Admiral Havelock is heading for a place called the Lighthouse at King Sparrow's Island. Wonderful. It's time to crash a power-hungry retirement party. I drop into Piero's workshop for a little pre-apocalypse shopping spree. Instead, I actually find Piero and Sokolov barricaded underneath some furniture. The boys are casually chatting about their inventions before I show up, then very quickly change pace into talking about the new arc pylon I saw on top. Apparently, it's capable of zapping everyone in the city block into either sleepy time or skeleton mode. Only problem is that the blueprints for the final piece are missing. Well, lucky for you, I actually already snagged these from Havelock's bin.
Astonishing. The arc pylon is complete. Now to activate it.
With this device, we can send a powerful electrical signal through the nervous system, merely rendering our enemies unconscious, or they can be reduced to ashes.
What is your opinion, Corvo?
I hand it over, and after some deep soul-searching, I tell Piero that you should set it to nap time. Look, the guards may be jerks and may want to kill me, but they're just jerks following orders. They're not the ones writing the manual.
Simply amazing. It functioned beyond my greatest expectations. It defies description. A device like this will ensure Dunwall's security for a century. We once discussed a system of signals to be used in Emily's tower for communication across the river. I wonder if he remembers that.
After taking care of that, I head for Emily's tower. Inside, I find Callista, who's taken refuge like a stressed-out NPC with one good monologue left. On the bed is a note explaining to use the signal flare and... yes, the classic pull lever, summon boat. Simple enough. After a little lore dump and emotional damage from Callista, I launch the flare like it's fireworks night. And within moments, Samuel appears out of the fog like an old fisherman who's seen too much. And quite honestly, he has.
Thought I'd find you here. It never pays to bet against you, does it? I saw the signal. I knew you'd be back, Corvo. I knew it. We'll need to get out of here soon. The Admiral controls the military now, Martin's High Overseer, and Pendleton's in favor with the aristocracy and Parliament. They need Emily, of course. But if Havelock senses that it's all about to fall down around him, who knows what he's liable to do.
He greets me with his usual tired optimism, which is impressive considering what Dunwall's become. I tell him that there's just one more destination left on this magical murder tour. To King Sparrow Island. Let's finish this.
Then it's one more trip across the river to where it meets the sea. That's where the Lord Regent was building his new lighthouse. Ought to be something to see.
Kept my blade in the dark, held the line like a vow. Took your dirt, stayed clean, who's a sinner now? Buried every scar deep, where the lies wouldn't drown. Fed me the lies with the silver-tongued plate saint. You dressed up the dagger, but the poison ain't faint. When your whisper hits the void, it's already too late. Mask on, but the soul's gone hollow. They crowned me a relic, now I'm something to follow. You drew first blood, now I'm death that follows. Floodgate cracked, now wrath runs deep. I let silence grow fangs and it never sleeps. You made your bed, don't count on sleep. Bell tower split, let the echoes speak. Chimes ring ruin when the righteous weep. Traded wings for chains, now the vengeance leaks. No redemption left when the faithful cheat. Knife in the back. Nah, that's barely a start. You built your crown with a traitor's heart. Now the weight of your lies will tear your world apart. Every secret you hid, gonna hang in the light. Let the river pull you down, out of mind, out of sight. No prayer, no God, gonna make this right. Knife in the back, that debt still breathes. It's stitched in my skin and it burns when I breathe. Till the mask hits the ground and your soul's relieved. Red wine lies still stain my lips. You poured poison and called it script. Put trust in the ink, but it bled too quick. Now the city cries flame and the sky runs red. Even shadows weep for the blood you shed. Like a plague in bloom, it infects the dead. Your oaths fragile, your faith sold. Truth crumbled fast under all that gold. Your silence loud, your throne cold. Built walls of pride, but your house won't hold. You taught me ruin, I learned it well. Now I write your name in the books of hell. Etched in ash so it always tells. You said loyalty, but bled me dry. Fed me faith, then left me to die. You said light, then fed me lies. Knife in the back, nah, it was never enough. Let the outsider smirk, while your world turns black. He marks my path, while I paint your past. Just a name on a wall, and a blood-soaked mask. Nah, a knife in the back was never enough.
Where are you? Who is that? Corvo! I knew you'd come. Is it going to be okay now? Will I be Empress?
So ends the interregnum. And now Emily Caldwin I will take her mother's throne after a season of turmoil. You will stand at her side, Corvo, guiding her young mind and protecting her from those who seek to exploit her or cause her harm. You watched and listened when other men would have shouted in rage. You held back instead of striking. So it is, with the passing of the plague and Emily's ascension, comes a golden age, brought about by your hand. And decades hence, when your hair turns white and you pass from this world, Empress Emily, Emily the Wise, at the height of her power, will lay your body down within her mother's great tomb, because you are more to her than royal protector. Farewell, Corvo.
And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you liked this video and series, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you for Dishonored 2.